Hey Tamers, and welcome to another decklist video. Here we are with our another giveaway. The winner of this giveaway is going to be announced September 3rd. All you got to do is on your comment below, make sure you hashtag Wargreymon, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you like this video. And of course, a clutch card that I always kind of like to throw in there in giveaways. This one, it's going to be an Alt Heart Agumon X Antibody. Really beautiful, has the Wargreymon X Antibody in the background, so really nice. So all this is going to be a part of the giveaway. And now let's get into today's decklist video. Alright guys, before we get into this decklist, don't forget I do have my own merch. If you guys do like this shirt, go ahead and check it out. The link to my merch shop will be down below. Moving on, let's get into today's decklist, and we are running 4 of the Coromon here from BT5. When you attack, if you have a Greymon or Wargreymon in its name, you get to draw 1. Now here, I have seen some decklists that are running the new Coromon that give you 1000 DP on your turn. The reason why I chose to run this one is because there's enough DP boost in this decklist that I have that you really don't need that Coromon. Now you can go ahead and use it if you want, but I prefer that extra draw, especially if you swing and then you go ahead and then you draw a card that you need. For example, an Omnimon or another Wargreymon that will help you close out the game or whatnot. I am running 3 of the Agumon searchers from BT5. Really good searching. On play, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 card with Greymon and 1 card with Omnimon, and then the rest go back to the bottom. Besides it being an Agumon card and being a searcher, it's just going to give you that extra oomph or aggression to kind of get your pieces as quickly as you can. And since Alphamon, for example, has a lot of cards that help that deck search, I kind of wanted it to be at that level as in searching power. And then moving on, we are running 4 of the Agumon X Antibody, the new one that just came out in BT9. You Digivolve from 0 from Agumon. This does work in breeding area and of course in the battle area. Keep in mind, if you do Digivolve from the battle area, you can't use this effect. It only applies in the battle area. So this Agumon is just fantastic because he is also a searcher. So now just, the Agumon that we just talked about from BT5, you play this one, you search from here, you get your cards, and if it's still your turn, now you can just Digivolve into Agumon X Antibody, and you can now search again. So you can get up to 4 cards just from these 2 cards in 1 turn. Really good. This X Antibody allows you to get a card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 card with X Antibody, which is the option card. Really great. So I am running 4. Then I'm running 4 of the I am running 4 of the promo Agumons. If you do not have this one, you can run the starter deck one that gives it 2000 DP if you attack a player. This one ideally is just better because it just gives it's a blanket. So long as you have Greymon in its name, you get 2000 DP. You don't have to attack, a Digimon or the player to get the 2000 DP. So if you don't have that Agumon, you can definitely use that starter deck one for the 2000. So here we go, as I was talking about, this is 2000 DP, adding DP to your Digimon here. And then moving on, I am running 2 of the starter deck 1 Agumons. If you don't have this one, again, you could run the one that I just talked about, the starter deck Agumon that gives you 2000. I like playing this one because it gives you that blanket 1000 DP. So long as it's your turn, you're going to get that 1000 DP. The starter deck one, you have to attack the player, and then sometimes obviously you want to swing over Digimon, you're not going to get that 1000 DP. So just be mindful when you are choosing which Agumons you want to run. So in total, I am running, I believe, 13, 15, 4, 8, 12, 13 rookies, just because I don't want to brick. And just searching. Again, the whole idea here that I'm trying to go with is just getting my pieces as fast as I can. Moving on to the champion lineup, I am running 2 of the BT5 Greymon here, 1 Digivolving. If this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. So this will work if you have Agumon X Antibody and then you have any Agumon underneath it. If you Digivolve into the Greymon, it is going to work because you have Agumon and its Digivolution cards. It doesn't say Digivolve from an Agumon, right? So it's going to cost 1 even if you Digivolve on top of the X Antibody, so long as you have Agumon underneath. And then the reason I'm running 2 of these, I don't know why I just did that, but the reason I'm running 2 of these is because this Greymon also gives you a DP increase overall your turn, which gives you another 2000. So now This Greymon and the other Agumon give you up to 4000 DP. So again, this is why I'm saying I don't think I really need the new Koromon in this deck list, because there's a lot of cards that give me DP already. So we are running 2 of those. You can swap these out for hybrids if you choose to. I just want to kind of really stick to just the Greymon line. So that is why I have these 2 Greymons. And then moving on, the best champion that you can run aside from the security +1, this one is still better just because you digivolve from Greymon for 0, but then all turns, if this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name and in an effect would delete it or return it to your hand or deck, you may trash 2 cards of the same level in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent it. So this is exactly what I've been waiting for ever since I played Wargreymon BT1 in BT1, is protection. He had no protection, and now we do. We did have a delicate plan, but that took up slot for a card. So now here, this is a form of a delicate plan in a Greymon, and it's very, very good. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be this Greymon or another champion. It can be any 2 cards so long as they're the same level. So this works for if you have Agumon and Agumon X Anybody, you can trash those 2, therefore keeping your Greymon, having that effect, potentially you getting protection a second time. And with this deck build that I have, you can get protection up to 3 times, so it is very, very nasty. So this Greymon is fantastic, and I am running 4. And then of course you already saw the Greymons that I'm running is a starter deck 1 security attack +1. Now if you don't have this Greymon, you can definitely go for a, let's see if I have it here. You can go and you can use the Greymon that here. So your turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP. It's a Greymon to 4 cost. It's a good alternative. But again, you know, it's that security attack that you do want instead. You have that one, you have the security Greymon. There's other ways around it if you don't have that security attack +1 Greymon. But the way that I'm setting this up is I'm going for OTK with maximum protection, truly not being scared of what's in the security. Just keep in mind that, you know, Greymon's protection does not protect you from swinging into Digimon that are higher DP than you. And of course, I believe if it's a Chaos, the Chaos option card where it returns it to your security stack. So those are the only 2 things that could, you know, take away the protection, so to say. So now moving on into our ultimates, I am running 4 of the Metal Greymon X Antibody. You absolutely need to run 4 of these, just because on Digivolving you get security attack +1. Not only that, you Digivolve from 0 into a Metal Greymon, so you could kind of stack these, kind of like Alterius when he first came out. You're just able to keep Digivolving on top of Alterius's. Alterius does not work in this set because you need to Digivolve from Metal Greymon, and that is what that promo does. Is we'll get into it, but you can actually Digivolve on top of that promo. So anyway, with this one, when you Digivolve, you get security attack +1. Then if you have X Anybody in its sources, the option card, or if you have Metal Greymon, this Digimon gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you can even swing with this. This is kind of, you can kind of make a Wargreymon BT1 here with this one. If you Digivolve into that Metal Greymon, you have X Anybody underneath, and then you have Greymon with another Greymon or 2 Agumons underneath. You basically got a BT1 Wargreymon here in an ultimate, and that is pretty wild, right? And the reason I say that is because if you do run into an option card, you can just protect it, and you know, he'll still be able to finish his swing. So really great. That is why I'm running 4. Then I'm running 4 of the Alterius modes, the new promos, and here these are up for grabs on the slots, whichever you want to choose. You can use the Metal Greymon that gives you piercing. You can use the Metal Greymon that came out in BT8, where the inherit, if you delete a Digimon, you gain 1 memory. Those are all great. You can use them. However, like I said, this deck list, what I'm going for is OTK protection, right? And this is exactly what this Metal Greymon Alterius does. So you Digivolve from 0 from Metal Greymon, and then this card, Digimon, is also treated as Metal Greymon. So you can Digivolve this on top of itself, which is really good. Then when Digivolving, if you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less, which does come up frequently, especially if you want to get rid of, you know, if there's Gazimons or, you know, whatever they have that's kind of stopping your flow or anything like that. And then of course all turns, it's just the same as Greymon X Anybody. You can remove 2 cards of the same level from the source to protect it from leaving play. So this is why I'm running 4 of these, is just to kind of increase the chance of my Wargreymon stack having protection. Moving on to the megas here, I am running 3 of the BT1 Wargreymons. Probably still the best Wargreymon that you can run, just because when digivolving, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Remember that key term, for the turn, because it's going to come up. And then your turn, when this Digimon doesn't activate security skills on option cards, it checks, which is just fantastic, which is really good, because then you don't really have to worry about him having protection. He already has it built in with the option cards. Again, you just gotta really watch out for the DP here, which is good because we have the Greymon and the Agumon that will give it 2,000, potentially giving up to 4,000. Mind you, this Metal Greymon here will give it 3,000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn, so long as you have a Metal Greymon underneath or X antibody. So this Wargreymon could easily jump to 14, 15, 16, maybe even 18k when you swing. So it's very, very good. Another reason why I am running the 4 of those X antibody Metal Greymons is because that way this Wargreymon won't stay at 11,000 DP. You can swing. He's going to have 14 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So when it's your turn again, then you can unsuspend. So it's going to be really tough for them to swing over it. And then if they play something like Gaia Force or anything like that, you have protection underneath. So you're kind of 90% guaranteed that Wargreymon is going to stay on the field when it comes back to your turn, depending on the deck that you're battling, right? So that's why I'm running 3. And then we are running 3 of the new X antibody Wargreymons. I was running 4, I saw it too much, and then ideally the way I want to use this card is to digivolve it on top of the Wargreymon, since it does cost for 1. All turns, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, you gain 1 memory. Keep in mind, if Gazimon is out on the field, this doesn't work, but if you're OTKing, even if you are digivolving onto this Wargreymon and then you have X antibody underneath, you swing for 4, you basically digivolve for free because you get 1 a memory for each security card that you remove. Really, really nice. And then end of attack, once per turn, if Wargreymon or X antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. Keep in mind it says end of attack, so you will have that DP buff still from the Greymon and the Agumon. So he could be at 14, he could be at 16, or he could be at 17 if you have that Metal Greymon X antibody. So you can delete any Digimon basically that has 17, 16,000 or less. So this Wargreymon is just nuts. It really is. Moving on, I am running 1 of the EX1 Wargreymon. When digivolving, he has Blitz, and then when you attack, if you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with Blocker. This is good if you're going up against a Metal Garurumon, because he gives himself Blocker until the end of your turn, I believe. So then this is one way to bypass it, or just if they have blockers in general. If you need that last swing and there's a blocker, you just go into his Wargreymon, he has Blitz, you swing, you delete that blocker if you have a Tamer, and then bam, there's game. Before we move on, I really did want to run this Wargreymon here. If I could just find it really quick, where you at? I really did want to run this Wargreymon, because when you digivolve, if you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13,000 DP or more, which is really good. Then when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less, which is fantastic. But again, it becomes like circumstantial, right? It's kind of like, well, are they always gonna have Digimon with 4,000 DP or less? And then I may not always have a Tamer. And then if I do attack, then what if they do have a blocker and I can't delete it because it's over 13,000 DP? So that is the reason why I didn't run it. Then I thought about, maybe splashing it in a Guilmon build to kind of help with the, the DP reduction, so you could end up deleting up to 8,000. But anyway, that was it. That was kind of my only little rant there. So I did stick with the Wargreymon just because he has Blitz and you can delete a blocker so long as you have a Tamer. Moving on to the level 7s here, I am running 1 of the Blitz and 1 of X antibody. If you don't know what this one does, by now you should, because I have it in almost every deck list. When you digivolve, he has Blitz, he unsuspends, and then you can swing. And then all turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to his owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it by trashing a level 6 from this Digivolution's cards. So this Omnimon could potentially protect itself twice if you have Wargreymon, and then if you have X Antibody underneath. That is if you don't have the Greymon X Antibody or the Alterius mode. So it's insane, right? The only downside is that it is at 14,000. You do get 2,000 from the Greymon, but you don't get it from the Agumon because it only works for Greymons. Just keep that in mind. Again, this is really good to just close out games, especially with the whole Blitz thing. A thing that you can do here is, you know, you have this Omnimon X Antibody. You swing, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. Then on your opponent's turn, you can basically stop their attack by trashing 2 cards from this Digimon's Digivolution cards. So this is also good if you don't have any more security left and they have 2 or 3 attacks. You can use Omnimon's X Antibody's ability to just protect you. It's essentially a blocker without it actually blocking, which is pretty nuts. Keep in mind, if you do swing, let's say I swing with this Omnimon Blitz, I have X Antibody underneath. Even though my turn passed, I can still activate X Antibody and Digivolve into Omnimon X Antibody. And I don't think the one attacking does work in that sense because you didn't declare the attack with this X Antibody, so his one attacking ability will not work. But in that sense, even, you know, if you don't want that Omnimon to, you know, get run over next turn, you can just go into X Antibody and it Digivolves for 3 so long as it's Digivolves from an Omnimon. So that's just a little strategy you can do there, a little combo I should say. And then of course I'm running 2 of the red memory boost. Self-explanatory, reveal 4 cards, add 1 red Digimon card to your hand, and then it is a good card to get memory when you need it later on in the future. So I'm running 2 of those. So again, I'm kind of sticking with the whole trying to be aggressive with the searching. And then the last cards that I'm running is the new X Antibody option card. Security gain. When it gets hit in security, you gain 1 memory and this card goes to your hand, which is really, really nice. If sometimes, you know, they're left at 0 and they attack, they swing, they lose a memory and now they can't attack with the rest of the Digimon. So it could potentially save you from losing a match. So I am running 3. 2 of the ties just for Memories of the Tamer, and of course, as I said, I'm going for that OTK style since, you know, there's a lot of protection, so I want as much security attack plus as possible. So we are doing the tie. All of your red Digimon with 4 or more Digivolution cards gain security attack plus 1. Really, really busted Tamer. And then last but not least, I am running a cool boy. I'm running 3 of them. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with X Antibody in this tray and 1 option card with X Antibody. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a same level Digimon with X Antibody and its traits, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory and draw 1. So this will work if you digivolve from Omnimon into X Antibody. Since he has X Antibody, it will work from Wargreymon to X Antibody, Wargreymon. It will work from Metal Greymon to X Antibody, Metal Greymon. It will work for the Greymon X Antibody and Agumon X Antibody. So it's really, really nice. In 1 turn, I was able to go from Agumon. I went all the way. I digivolved onto a Agumon X, Greymon X, Alterius mode, and then Metal Greymon X Antibody. I swinged and then I digivolved into Wargreymon, and then after his ability, I got the memory back, and then I went into Omnimon. Unsuspend myself, I swinged again. It's really, really crazy. And there you have it, guys. There is my deck list. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure you are subscribed because I will be uploading videos using these decks that I do have. And if you guys love this deck list, make sure you guys check these out right here, and I will see you guys on the next video.